In other news, leading the headlines this week, Economic Freedom Fighters co-founder and Deputy President Floyd announced his resignation from the party on Thursday. In a tension-filled Winnie Madikizela Mandela house, Shivambu also announced that he was joining the Umkhonto weSizwe party. Since then, speculation has been rife on the reasons for this move. I mean, is it related to personal and political growth, or perhaps a rift within the EFF, or a strategy for an MK and EFF partnership? Well, we get some perspective from political analyst Dr. Zamo Mbandwa. Doctor, good morning, and thank you so much for your time. Welcome to Newsroom Africa.
Good morning to you and good morning to the viewers.
Of course, there's been a lot of speculation, but what do you think triggered Floyd Shivambu and Mzwane Lemanyi's decision to leave the EFF and join the MK party?
Well, first and foremost, we need to understand that EFF, as any other political party, have its own challenges. And it's not the first time that EFF is facing some challenges, people leaving EFF when it is preparing for the conference. Now, you'll recall in 2015 that Andile Mtlitama was also a member of EFF, but due to some internal challenges within the EFF, he was then suspended and initially expelled, and he opened his own political party. Well, I'm just raising this so that you can have an understanding that EFF is not a holy party, it's a political party. There will always be internal contradictions between the party leaders themselves and the members collectively. So now, moving away from EFF is not necessarily a personal decision by Floyd Shivambu and Jimmy Manyi, but it's a decision. And there are so many speculations with regards to the reasons why they left the EFF. Well, I don't think at this point they owe anyone an explanation of the reasons why they decided to leave EFF and join the MK party, simply because when they joined the EFF, they did not explain to anyone, has asked them why they are joining EFF. But in the case of Floyd was at the initial stages of the establishment of EFF. So you wouldn't expect someone who is a co-founder of the political party to just leave the party, where else the person has a responsibility, especially being a deputy president of the party, a second in command. So I think many of us did not expect that move, but it did happen. Well, you would expect such activities or such things happening because of the preparation of the conference of the EFF. Because at some point, there will also be some challenges. Even the leader of the EFF will at some point face some challenges and some contestations. And that is why you see some challenges, people leaving EFF, because when you are a leader and you are not being challenged, you are not contested, it is very difficult to test your hegemony or to test your power. Because if everybody agrees with you, then it means that there is a problem.
Speaking of challenges, Doctor, what do you think this move actually says about the internal dynamics and power struggles within the EFF?
Well, there are so many speculations or allegations at this point why Floyd have left the EFF. But the most being said now is that he was approached by some individuals who want him to contest the presidential position of the EFF, which cannot be tested to be true. But others are also saying that the president of the EFF is now well aligned with the idea that the SG of the EFF must become a deputy president. So those allegations cannot be found to be true, but if there are such allegations and such discussions, politics is like that. A group of people take a decision, they influence the rest of the members of the organization, they influence the leadership, then at the end of the day, you end up not being in any position of the political party. And I think for him now to join another political party, while he's still enjoying support from the EFF and is still being supported by the leaders of the EFF, I think for him that was the best move rather than being removed, because if you look at the leaders of the EFF in the past, those who led in the executive leadership, particularly in the NEC, they are nowhere as we speak now. But the only two people that remained in the senior leaders of the organization are the CIC and Floyd Shivambu. So now, if Floyd was to be changed in the upcoming conference, then it was going to cause some problems, even for him, because he don't see himself not being the deputy president or in the executive of the EFF. So he rather leave rather than being removed by a vote.
Speaking of positions, do you think that EFF leader Julius Malema consulted the leaders of the EFF or members prior to announcing that there'll be no acting deputy president as they are going to a conference in December? Or could this have been a solo decision?
You see, political parties have a different way of operating. When the political parties elect leadership, the leadership have executive authority to take critical decisions of the party pending the conference of the organization. So in this case, he might have taken a solo decision, but he is empowered by the delegates of the EFF that voted for him as the president of the party. So he cannot call everybody and say, this is the decision that I want to take as the leader of the party, because by virtue of being the president of the party, the members or the delegates that voted for him have faith in him to take decisions on behalf of the party in between the conferences. So I don't see anything wrong on the basis of the decision that you have taken to say there will be no acting deputy president, and then the conference will take a decision on who they want to be the deputy president. But of course, in politics, the vacuum is a problem. Now that there's a vacuum in the EFF, many people will be contesting. Many people will want action, and that will cause more problems for the party, because they will have more factions within the party for people who see themselves as relevant, for people who see themselves as those who have been to the party for many years. And there are those who might be new, but also interested in the position of the deputy president.
All right. In closing, Doctor, how might the Umkhonto weSizwe party leverage from Shivambu and Manyi's joining to rebrand or to reposition themselves?
Well, there is a narrative, which I think for me is not true, that Umkhonto weSizwe party is a tribal political party which only exists in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. Simply because if you read the numbers on the basis of the outcome of the elections, national and provincial government elections in South Africa, you will see that in all the provinces, MK party has numbers.
Gentlemen.
So it can't be true that MK party only exists in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. And there's also some argument that has been made that Floyd Shivambu will not survive in the MK party simply because he's not from KwaZulu-Natal, which I think is not true, because MK party exists in probably in most of the provinces. But the outcome of the elections will tell those who are saying it only exists in KwaZulu-Natal that if you look at the statistics and the numbers of people that have voted for the MK party, in all the provinces, MK party received some votes. And the lowest votes that they received, I think, was about 3,000. And in many provinces, they got more than 10,000, 15,000 votes.
All right. Thank you so much for your time. That was political analyst Dr. Zamo Mbandlwa, just weighing in there on these recent events. Quite interesting times in the political landscape of South Africa.